This is your guy EF coming back at you with the forecast. We're talking Georgia and TCU for the college football national championship. So we're finally down to two. TCU took care of business against Michigan. Georgia took care of business against Ohio State in a tough one. But now we're down to two. So listen, this is going to be good. Normally Georgia comes in with a respectable, great defense. I mean, respectable. I mean, great. That's what we know Georgia has. We know Georgia has down and dirty, playing great defense. Over the last two games, they've given up over 1,000 yards and over 70 points. Think about that. Kirby Smart, who I said is smart, who I've said is the guy that he's the mastermind around defense. He puts these schemes together. He makes the other quarterback think. Giving up over 1,000 yards and 70 points. Like, I'm a defensive guy. That's my last hope. Like, Georgia is like the last team who I can say, hey, at least Georgia still plays defense. But if they're giving up 70 points over two games, they might as well, I mean, they're like everybody else. They might as well be in the Pac-12 or something like that if they are going to give up yards and points like that. See, here's the thing. The reason why they're good is because that is their advantage. They play defense. But if they're not going to play defense, they have no advantage. When you get in shootouts, yeah, it looks cute, it looks pretty. Everybody's going up and down the field scoring points. But guess what? The other team has just as good a chance to win as you do. You're scoring, they're scoring, they're scoring, you're scoring, you're scoring, they're scoring, they're scoring, they're scoring, you're scoring, you're scoring. It's crazy. It's whoever has the ball last or who makes the mistake last. Nobody wants to live like that. If Georgia lets other teams play that way with them, they're human. Other teams have confidence with that. They feel good about that. Yeah, we'll go up and down the field with Georgia. No doubt about it. They prefer that. TCU would love that. TCU is capable of winning a game like that. So Georgia has to get back to playing defense, but can they? I mean, it's not like they're choosing not to, right? It's like the other team is doing something talent-wise, scheme-wise, style-wise to get into these shootouts. We saw Ohio State spread them out. C.J. Stroud was remarkable. Pinpoint passes. Marvin Harrison Jr. was looking great before he got hurt. I mean, maybe, just maybe, somebody has figured out how to beat Georgia's defense. And now everybody's looking at the film. Okay, 3, 4, 5 wideouts. Run some crossing routes, some deep drags. Move the pocket to get away from the rush. Throw on the run. Mobile quarterback with some intelligence. We might be able to beat Georgia. TCU is no slouch. Their quarterback kind of reminds me of a Tim Tebow, no quit, get it done. Maybe even a better passer than Tebow. Well, I think he is a better passer than Tebow. And I like their coach, Dykes. Smart guy. He knows what he's doing. Game planning, scheming. That 3-3-5 that they have on defense gave Michigan problems. Michigan quarterback had problems with that second level. You know, he threw a couple pick sixes, right? That 3-3-5 kind of messed with his head a little bit. Now, Georgia, I think they see a 3-3-5 against Arkansas, so they should be familiar with that a little bit, but they don't see that all the time. But the key to that 3-3-5 defense that they run is they do a lot of run blitz. They do a lot of run blitzes. That backer, I don't know if it's the linebacker or one of the DBs, but they come down and they fill that hole really quick. So it's not really a 3-3-5 all the time. It turns into a 3-4. You got to be able to identify and recognize it. Maybe get out of that play or do something different. But at the end of the day, it's been effective. So I'm curious to see how Georgia reacts to it. I'm pretty sure Kirby will have those boys prepared. Stetson will be ready for that. But when you look at the 3-3-5, you initially think, let's just run through that thing. There's only 3 linemen and 3 linebackers. Let's run through that paper thin defense. Michigan thought that too, but that's not the case. Those DBs and those backers fill those gaps. They know what you're doing. That's why I say Sonny Dykes is a smart dude. He knows what's happening, or either his D cord, whoever it is. They know what's going on. They know where the play is going. They know where the hole is. Now they're dealing with a different type of player, guys that can bounce outside of the hole and find new lanes and take it the distance. But nonetheless, TCU is they're capable. They're very capable. They have that no quit, never give up. They know what they're doing. That's the key. That's half the battle. Knowing what you want to do and doing it. That's half the battle. The rest is effort, confidence. I mean, they have all of that. So, again, if Georgia's not bringing the defense like we know them to have it, if the TCU is doing something to them that is shredding them apart, like LSU and Ohio State did, we have a game. I mean, we have a game. We have a back-and-forth game. And again, anybody can win a back-and-forth game. Keep your eye on Sonny Dykes, the coach for TCU. He's going to have those boys ready. He's going to have them prepared. I almost want to pull, I don't even call it upset. I almost want to say TCU is going to do it, just simply because I don't have any faith in Georgia's defense right now. Something is terribly wrong there. Teams are spreading them out, and they can't deal with that. It kind of happened in Alabama a couple years ago. Teams started spreading them out like Clemson and Ole Miss, and next thing you know, you go from giving up 10 points a game to 25, and then next thing you know, people are scoring 40 on you. You're like, what's going on? We have all these All-Americans, all these Under Armour guys, and 5 stars, 4 stars, but put them in space against some good athletes, got some problems. That's what Georgia's looking like right now. I know it's just 2 games. I know. It's just 2 games. But it's the last 2 games. It's not just 2 games. It's the last 2 games, and we're starting to see a trend here. So that's what I'm looking at. If Georgia's defense can show up, okay, Georgia will win. If they do not show up, we have a track meet. We're going up and down the field. Sonny Dykes will have them ready. Kirby will have them ready. But the keys will be Stetson Bennett and Max, the quarterback for TCU. Now listen, Stetson, he's starting to show us a little something. I know he struggled. Well, did he struggle really? I mean, he didn't have the greatest first half, third quarter against Ohio State, but he does what winners do, and I call it that it. It's hard to put your finger on it, but it's levels, right? You would love to play at a high level the whole game, right? That would be great. But, which is just as good, is when you can elevate your level when needed, especially in that late to third, fourth quarter. When you can take it up a notch, when everybody else is kind of freezing in the moment, you're taking it up a level. You're taking it up a notch. All of a sudden, you look great. You're making plays. The moment's not too big. That's what Stetson's looking like. He did that against Alabama in the championship game last year, and he did it against Ohio State last week. So, if I have to give the edge to anybody, I'm going with Georgia because of the experience. I like what Stetson's doing. TCU quarterback, though, don't get me wrong, man. He's got that no quit. That's why it's going to be a good game. It's hard to pick, but I would pick Georgia due to the experience, due to Stetson's ability. It's crazy to say this because, like, just 2 years ago, we were like, is Stetson even a D1 quarterback? Even though I thought he had potential because he was doing some nice things, but his environment, everything around him was making us all feel like, nah, he's not the guy. But Kirby, took the time and brought him back, worked with him, and he took advantage of the situation. So I'd give Georgia the edge going into the championship game tomorrow. But I wouldn't be surprised if TCU pulled it off. Those guys are good. And again, if you get into a shootout, anybody can win a shootout. Whoever has the ball last, whoever makes the mistake last, that's what it comes down to. So I think we're in for a good game. I think Georgia will double up, go back to back, but I would not be surprised if TCU won. Keep your eye on Sonny Dykes, making some great adjustments, running some great plays, doing some great things. I mean, I like TCU. You can tell I like them. Just keep your eye on him. I think he's a great coach. I really do. I just think in the end, Georgia will have a little depth that may pay dividends in the end, and Georgia will repeat. This is your guy EF talking college football with the forecast. Until the next time.